Are you getting headaches after chiropractic adjustments? Well, what's more important is, are you getting headaches after every single adjustment, or are you getting severe headaches, right? Neither of those are normal. And I'm going to talk about, kind of elephant in the room first, but I'm also going to tell you why having a mild to moderate headache after your first adjustment is actually normal, okay? A lot of people experience that mild to moderate headache, but what we don't want to see is severe headaches with like other neurological symptoms like dizziness or numbness and tingling in the face. That can be a sign of something more serious going on, and you should get checked out at an urgent care center or emergency room. However, that's very, very unlikely, okay? We always hear the worst stories, and so a lot of times that's not, maybe where your mind is going, but it's not what's happening, okay? And the reality is sometimes adjustments, the more traditional type where they're doing a lot of, twisting and cracking, those adjustments need to be done in a very precise manner. Otherwise, they could be doing damage to your spine and your body, okay? So that's why we don't do those adjustments here at Koru Chiropractic. We do really gentle, specific adjustments. We use things like NUCA, which is an upper cervical approach, low force hand adjustment that doesn't typically cause a lot of headaches, or drop table adjustments, which allow us to work with the body, move it in the right direction, and work around things like arthritis, right? So a lot of people go into a chiropractor who maybe doesn't take x-rays, and they just lie on the table and get cracked, and then they wonder why they have a huge headache after. Well, you might have arthritis or degeneration or something else going on, and that's why it's really important to do a proper examination. In our office, that includes x-rays of the spine so we can see exactly where your problems are. This doesn't just tell me where things might be a little rough. It also shows me how to do the best adjustment and where we should be focusing. So instead of adjusting or cracking your whole neck or every bone in your spine, we're really pinpointed trying to adjust maybe one or two areas that are going to change the whole spine, the whole body, and get you a better result without making things so turbulent, right? Now, that being said, I've had plenty of patients come back and tell me they've had a mild or moderate tension headache after an adjustment. And I'm going to give you 5 reasons why that might be the case, okay? So bad stuff aside, severe headaches aside, when you're getting a mild headache, a lot of times people will feel it kind of around their forehead right here, or maybe at the base of their skull after their first adjustment. And that can be a sign that actually we're making great progress. As we're adjusting you, we're getting certain muscles and joints to move better. And sometimes some things free up a lot, while other areas that are connected to those muscles we haven't focused on yet, right? And so those areas may still feel tension or soreness, and it might be more obvious than when all of a sudden, oh man, that burning neck pain is gone, but now I'm noticing this tension headache, right? And so with time, if you're getting the right kind of adjustments, you should notice less and less of that. Oftentimes I only have people tell me about it once, right? So the second thing is hydration. After every adjustment, especially the first one, I'm always reminding patients, make sure you drink lots of water, maybe even take some electrolyte supplements, especially living up here at the high desert in Colorado. It is easy to get dehydrated, okay? Even me just standing and talking and not even counting workouts, if I'm just working and on my feet all day, I'm gonna be dehydrated if I'm not drinking a lot of water and some electrolytes in between, okay? So after an adjustment, your muscles, they need water. That's what our whole body needs, water. And making sure that they have enough water, enough electrolytes so they can actually relax is super important, okay? Next is just reaction to the changes that are happening. With a type of chiropractic care that we do here, and really all types of chiropractic care, if they're touching their spine, they're affecting your nervous system, right? Nerves come out between those bones, and that's really the goal of what we're trying to do, is get your whole body working better, not just moving better, right? And when we get the nervous system functioning better, sometimes there's just dramatic changes, right? Because it's so powerful, it has such an effect over the whole body. And so sometimes people notice things beyond just a headache. They might notice big releases of different types, right? I've had people have big bowel clear outs. I've had people feel big emotional clear outs after adjustments. And it's not because they're hurt. It's just because we typically, as a Western society, like to separate mind, body, spirit, like they're totally on their own. But the reality is they're all blended together, right? And when we do an adjustment and it influences the nervous system, it influences the brain, sometimes people have big changes, big effects, and they need to let things out, right? Luckily, that usually is much more gradually in most people, but sometimes people really wonder when they come back for their second adjustment, man, I felt some weird things going on, right? And again, we always want to make sure we're being safe and we're not just kind of pushing you through the system. Again, these changes are pretty normal when we're having a powerful effect on the nervous system. Next is stress relief, right? Kind of related to the nervous system and muscle tension. We typically hold a lot of stress, especially if we're working. You got a boss, you got kids, you got hobbies, friends, family, right? They're all adding up. They're all stressing us out. And when we take the nervous system from this stressed out fight or flight sympathetic state, and we do an adjustment that is parasympathetic inducing and is much more going to allow your body to go into rest and relaxation, well, it can be a big swing, right? And people can feel a big change, and ultimately they're going to notice changes in their body. So maybe that includes a mild tension headache as well, right? And last is just temporary discomfort. Again, sometimes it's just the first time we got those joints moving in a long time, first time the muscles are moving. In fact, they're even moving so well, things are so good that they get really sore, because it's like going into the gym for the first time when you haven't been there for months or maybe even years. And you go in there and you do like a couple sets, and you walk out, and not even a day later, you're like, oh, I'm so sore, I can barely sit down, or I can barely move my arms. And that's a physiological change to the stress that you put on it, the weightlifting or the cardio, whatever you're doing at the gym, right? Whatever exercise or activity you're doing that you feel really sore after, right? So that's a normal effect of our body. And so when we get the body moving, right, sometimes things just are moving in new ways that they haven't moved in a long time, and they get sore. And then slowly with time, you typically, after just a couple adjustments, people aren't noticing those differences anymore. They're actually just feeling loose, they're feeling like they're moving better, they're feeling better, and they're not noticing, again, that kind of like turbulent effect in between adjustments. So just to summate, mild to moderate headaches and feeling a little out of sorts after an adjustment is okay, right? But we don't want you to have a severe headache. We don't want you to have other neurological indicators. If that's the case, if it's not an emergency, make sure you talk to your chiropractor and ask them about what they can do to modify their care, or if they're concerned about those headaches. And if you're looking for a different solution, if this is a common occurrence with you and you're maybe even avoiding chiropractic care because of it, but you're desperate for some help with your spine and your body, I would encourage you to check us out, because again, we do things differently here. We do corrective care, which is very different than traditional chiropractic care, and it allows people to get adjusted and get great results with a minimal impact. Okay, guys, hope you're having a great day. Talk to you soon.